had Jessica when I was only 20, almost 21. We lived in Gaithersburg, Maryland, and she was due at the end of May, but came April 30th, ready to start the world. And so she was born April 30th, 1991. She came very quickly, ready, happiest little thing in the world. She was perfect. As she was growing up, she was the same. She not only was really fun and energetic and free-spirited, but she was also really compassionate and loving, and she'd always adored animals, and she was just always one of those people that, like, she could just come in and smile and be fun and light up the whole room, and I don't think anything ever changed.
My first impression of Jess was very unique. She was very vibrant, lit the room, and she was always telling jokes.
When she was really little, she wore costumes everywhere she went. She was always dressed up as a character of some sort. It could be Robin Hood, anything. She was very funny. She didn't care what anyone thought of her at all. And still, you know, even when she was much older as a teenager, when people seemed to care, she just didn't.
I think it was the last day of our junior year, and she got the bright idea to dress like a nerd. So I told her I would do it, and that, I don't know, I guess that was kind of our way of having fun. Just being completely weird and unnormal.
1, 2.
Jessica, when she was 10 years old, decided that most of the little girl activities just weren't quite for her, and she really thought that she wanted to be a Marine one day. And we found out that there's a group called the Carroll County Young Marines. So she was in from the time she was 10 to 17. And when she was the platoon sergeant there, you know, one of the highest ranks, every single young Marine that was under her, she was responsible for. Everyone. If they messed up, it was her fault because she didn't train them right. So she took her responsibilities very seriously.
Jesse, I know you're taping this, and hello. Jesse, stop it.
You're such a lie. You wanted me to tape.
No, I didn't. I said don't tape. That does not mean...
My fabulous life has come.
She was just so much fun growing up. Like, she was one of those kids, like, you could never be upset when you were around Jess. She would just make you happy.
She made life adventurous, and she opened your eyes to everything.
It was Wednesday, February 16th, and Jess had been at work all day. She came home around 5:30. She was getting ready to go on her walk. She walked not only for exercise, but also it was kind of the way she'd clear her head. She decided, well, I need to go on a walk. It's February and it's a decent day, so she decided that she really needed to do that. A couple hours later, around 7:30, I got a phone call from my husband that the neighbors stopped by to tell us that Jessica had been hit by a car. My husband was driven to shock trauma by our neighbors. I have no idea how I got shock trauma on my own, but I did. When we got there, we weren't, nobody came to talk to us for a long time, so we had no idea in what state she was in. But when they finally did come, they told us she was in very grave condition, had many life-threatening injuries. Most of all was a severe head trauma. So, but they still had slight hope that maybe there was a chance they could do a couple things and maybe she'd be okay. But unfortunately, due to the lack of oxygen that she had for such a long period of time, because she was hit by a drunk driver who then left her on the side of the road. He was a hit and run. And because she was left for such a lengthy period of time without oxygen, that was what was causing a lot of deterioration to her brain, that if maybe she had gotten oxygen sooner, she'd have more of a chance. But unfortunately, it just progressively got worse no matter what they did, and she was legally declared brain dead on February 18th.
After the incident with Jess, it really motivated me to accomplish the goals that I had left, that I've set out, that I've talked to Jessica about. When I got a motorcycle, I enlisted in the U.S. Army.
Well, she definitely inspired me to follow my dreams. I mean, it takes a lot of work, but I think the most is to not really care what people think about you.
If I knew that Jess would see this video, what would I say to her? That I love her so very much, and that I was so lucky to be her mom, and that she's blessed me with nothing but joy and happiness her whole life. And I'm going to make sure that I spread more of her joy around in her spirit, and I keep her going that way as best I can, because something as beautiful as that should never have to leave.